The Pacific Ocean was a sheet of black glass beneath a sky dense with stars. It was the kind of profound darkness that exists only far from any shore, a void broken only by the soft, phosphorescent glow of the ship's wake. The USS Indianapolis, a Portland-class heavy cruiser, cut through the water with a graceful, powerful sea launch. Her lines were long and clean, a testament to her design from a different era, yet she carried herself with the weary dignity of a veteran. She had, just days ago, completed a mission so secret that even her own captain did not know the full weight of what they had carried. On the bridge, the mood was one of weary vigilance. The war was winding down. Everyone sighed so. The smell of salt and fuel oil hung in the warm, stagnant air. Men spoke in low tones, their voices barely rising above the constant, low hum of the ship's engines, a vibration that was felt more than heard, a sensation so constant it became a part of one's own body. They were running at a steady 17 knots, unshorted. The decision had been debated, but the route was considered safe, and the Indianapolis was fast. She had outrun danger before. Captain Charles Butler esatum cai pronunciation vai tiga stot on the bridge, a figure of calm authority. At 46, he was a career officer, respected and thorough. The responsibility for his ship and the nearly 1,200 souls aboard had rested squarely on his shoulders, a weight he carried with a quiet solemnity. He had just completed a routine inspection, the familiar RHTHMS of command providing a small comfort. The report from the radio room was unchanged, no new intelligence, no alerts. The sea was quiet. Yet, a subtle, unspoken anxiety prickled at the back of his mind. Being alone in this vast, dark expanse never felt entirely safe. Far below, in the bowels of the ship, the atmosphere was different. The air was thicker, hotter, heavy with the sweat of men of duty. In the mess decks, sailors played cards, the worn cards slapping against metal tablets. Some wrote letters home, their faces soft in the dim light as they composed words of love and reassurance, promising a return they believed was imminent. Others simply slept, crammed into rocks that swayed gently with the ship's motion, their rest a precious commodity. Among them was a young gunner's mate, Barely Nineteen, from a small farm in Indiana. He lay in his bunk, a dockered photograph of his girlfriend took it into the frame of his rack. He was thinking not of war, but of the sound of wind through cornfields, a memory so vivid it almost drowned out the ship's machinery. In another part of the ship, a chief engineer, a man hardened by 3 years of Pacific combat, meticulously cleaned his gear. His movements were automatic, practiced. He had a bad feeling about his run, a superstitious knot in his gut that he won't admit to anyone. He discerned what Japanese torpedoes could do. None of them knew that they were being watched. Lurking in the inky blackness, a Japanese submarine, the I-58, commanded by Lieutenant Commander Mochitsura Hashimoto, had been patrolling the area. Hashimoto was a skilled and determined officer, his crew among the last of the Imperial Japanese Navy still conducting aggressive patrols. His submarine was a formidable vessel, armed with Type 95 torpedoes, among the most advanced in the world, fast, long-range, and powered by pure oxygen, leaving almost no telltale bubble trail. Through his periscope, the Indianapolis was a perfect silhouette against the starry horizon. A large, solitary warship, steaming a straight course. It was a submariner's dream target. Hashimoto gave the orders quietly. The crew of the I-58 moved with a silent, efficient urgency. Tubes were flooded. The calculations were made. The order to fire was given. On the Indianapolis, the night watch continued its monotonous RHTHM. The lowcoats scanned the horizon, their eyes straining against the darkness. The sound of the ocean was a constant whisper. Then, at pukul 12.14 AM on July 30, 1945, the whisper was broken. A sailor on deck was the first to see it. A thin, white streak of foam cutting through the water, aimed directly for the ship's starboard bow. His scream of "torpedo" was torn away by the wind, but it was too late. The first torpedo struck with a cataclysmic roar that tore the night in two. It hit near the bow, directly beneath the area where fuel and ammunition were stored. The explosion was not just a sound. It was a physical force, a contusive wave that buckled steel, shattered bones, and snuffed out leaves in an instant. A column of water and fire erupted into the sky, illuminating the ship in a ghastly, momentary dialect. The young gunner's mate from Indiana was thrown from his boom, the photograph of his girlfriend fluttering into the inferno. Before Anyone could process the first impact, a second torpedo slammed into the midship, near the crew's quarters and the engineering patches. This blast was even more devastating. It severed electrical power, plunging the ship into darkness save for the raging fires. It ruptured the keel, the very spine of the vessel. The internal explosions that followed, from boilers, fuel tanks, and ammunition lockers, ripped the Indianapolis apart from the inside. The world dissolved into chaos. The once orderly passages became death traps, filling with a toxic mix of smoke, steam, and fire. Men who had been sleeping moments before were now trapped in a labyrinth of twisted metal, the decks buckling and rising beneath them. The roar of the explosions was replaced by the shriek of tearing steel, the screams of the wounded, and the desperate shouts of men trying to find a way out. Captain S1MC Pronunciation V was thrown to the deck of the bridge. Regaining his feet, he was met with a scene from a nightmare. His ship was listing sharply to starboard, the lights were dead, and the acrid smell of burning fuel and chordite filled his lungs. He knew immediately the wounds were mortal. Through the chaos, he tried to assess the damage, but reports were fragmented, useless. The internal communication system was gone. He could feel the ship ding beneath his feet, a great beast succumbing to its injuries. He gave it the only order left to give: abandon ship. But executing that order was nearly impossible. The severe list made launching lifeboats futile. Many were smashed or inaccessible. Men scrambled for the few life rafts that could be freed, or for the kapok life jackets that were their only hope. The decks were slick with oil and water, tilted at a terrifying angle. Some sailors, disoriented and panicked, jumped from the port side, only to find themselves plunging directly into the side of the ship as it continued to roll. Others, on the starboard side, could simply step off into the water as the deck dipped beneath the waves. Within just 12 minutes of the first torpedo hit, the USS Indianapolis, a ship that had served with distinction from the pre-war days through pivotal battles like Iwo Jima and Okinawa, gave a final, groaning shudder. Her stern lifted high into the air, her propellers glinting in the firelight, and she slid beneath the surface of the Philippine Sea. She took with her an estimated 300 men, who had been trapped inside or killed in the initial blasts. The silence that followed was almost more shocking than the violence. The roaring fires were extinguished with a hiss as the sea swallowed the ship. The darkness returned, deeper and more profound than before. In the water, more than 800 men were left scattered across the ocean, clinging to life rafts, floater nets, or simply their life jackets. They were stunned, injured, and adrift in a vast, black sea. The water was warm, a small mercy, but the night was long, and the horizon was empty. As the first hints of dawn tinged the sky, the survivors began to take stock of their situation. They were alive, but they were in the middle of one of the most remote stretches of ocean on Earth. They had little food, less water, and no means to call for help. The ship had gone down so quickly that no distress signal had been confirmed. They were utterly, terrifyingly alone. They huddled together, their voices low, trying to offer comfort, their eyes scanning the empty horizon for a sign, any sign, that they had been seen. They did not know that their ordeal had only just begun. The sinking was merely the prelude to a tragedy that would unfold over the next 4 days, a test of human endurance against the elements, against the creatures of the deep, and against the slow, tripping despair of being forgotten by the world.